Morning, everyone. I am Carrie Cole, Wholesale Account Executive here at MLB. I have the honor of filling in today for Laura Brandeo, and I just want to thank everybody for joining this morning. And before we jump in, I want you to do something with me for a moment. I want you to think about one person in your business, someone you trust completely, someone that you trust 100%. Maybe it's a partner, maybe it's a teammate, maybe it's a client. Does everyone have that person in mind? Good. Now, I want you to think about how you feel when you see their name pop up in your phone. You don't hesitate, you don't brace yourself, you don't overthink it. You respond. And not just quickly, you respond with confidence. Now, I want you to do the opposite. Think about a situation, think about a person where trust, well, it's not quite there. It's the same phone, the same opportunity, but now there's a pause, there's a question in the back of your mind. Maybe there's even a little tension. And here's what's interesting about that. Nothing about the process has changed. Nothing about the family you are trying to help has changed. The only thing that has changed was trust. There's a quote from Stephen Covey, and he said that trust is the one thing that changes everything. And I think a lot of people hear that and they think it's motivational, but it's not. It's operational. Because in our business, trust shows up in very real ways. It shows up in how fast people respond, how clearly they communicate, how confidently they move forward. Let me say it in this way. Trust is either creating speed in our business or the lack of trust is slowing the speed of business down. There is no in between. There is no neutral. You're always either building trust or eroding trust. And you have felt this. We have all felt this. You have been in situations where you're helping families achieve home ownership where everything just flows. It flows without effort. There's minimal back and forth. There's clear communication. There are quick decisions. And then we've all been in those other situations where you're trying to help families achieve home ownership and everything feels heavier than it should. There are more emails, there are more explanations, there is more just checking or just in case. And here's the truth. That weight you feel, that's the cost of low trust. Warren Buffett said it takes 20 years to build a relationship and 5 minutes to ruin it. But here's what I believe is even more important. Trust is rarely lost in one big moment. It's lost in the small ones. It's the follow-ups that didn't happen, the call that didn't get returned, the expectation that wasn't set clearly. And over time, those small moments create a pattern. And that pattern becomes your reputation. And so here's the real question for all of us this morning. What pattern are we creating? Because people may not remember the details of every deal, but they will absolutely remember how it felt to work with you, whether things moved smoothly, whether they had confidence in you. I want you to think about the last time you referred business to someone. You didn't just look at product. You didn't just look at pricing. You asked yourself one question. Do I trust them with my relationship? Because when you refer someone, you're not just giving an opportunity. You're putting your reputation on the line. And that's why trust matters so much. Because when trust is high, people don't just work with you, they bring you into their circle. And when trust is low, even if you're good, even if you're capable, you stay on the outside. So let's get practical because this isn't about theory. This is about what you do today when this call ends. I encourage you to close the gap between what you say and what you do. Every time you say, I'll follow up later, I'll send that over, I've got this handled, you're making a promise. And here's the thing, trust is either built or broken in how you handle the small promises, not the big ones, the small ones. Because small promises happen every single day in business and they stack. You're either stacking, building more and more trust, or when those promises are not kept, you're eroding that trust. You have the ability to remove uncertainty before it grows. Uncertainty is where trust starts to break down, and uncertainty grows in silence. When people don't hear from you, they don't assume the best. They start assuming the absolute worst. When people feel ghosted, they start creating stories about what's happening. They need to fill in the blanks. So, one of the simplest ways to build trust is this: communicate before people have to ask. Even if the update is nothing has changed, but here's where we are. That one habit alone will separate you from most people in our business. And I encourage you to lean into those hard conversations. Many people avoid them. Top performers don't. Because the truth is, trust is built faster in hard conversations than easy ones. When something goes sideways, and in the world of mortgage that we all live in, something will always go sideways. You have a choice. You can avoid it or you can own it. And when you own it, when you step in with clarity and confidence, you don't lose trust. You build it. Be someone people can count on, especially under pressure. Anyone can be good when things are easy. But how do you show up when things are hard? That's what people remember. Do you disappear? Do you delay? Do you deflect? Or do you step up? Do you communicate? Do you lead? Because pressure doesn't break trust, it reveals it. Make trust your strategy, not just your intention. Most people say they value trust, but they don't build their day around it. What would change if you built your day around trust? If you approached every interaction with one question, will this build trust or will this take trust away? And here's the bigger picture. In this market, everyone is competing. Competing on rates, competing on products, competing on speed, competing on tech. But here's what's real. Very, very few people are competing on trust intentionally. And that's your opportunity. Because when trust is high, people stop shopping, people stop questioning, people start choosing. They choose you faster, they stay with you longer, they refer you more often. And it's really not because you're perfect, it's because you're trusted. So here's your challenge today. I want each of you to pick one relationship, just one. It can be an internal relationship or external relationship. And I want you to ask yourself honestly, if I were them, how much would I trust me right now? And not based on my intention, but based on the actual experience. And then just do one thing today to raise that level of trust. Follow through faster, communicate clearer, Address something that you've been avoiding because small actions done consistently change how people see you. And when that changes, everything else changes with it. And I'll leave you with this. Trust is not built in the big moments we prepare for. It's built in the small moments we almost overlook. A quick response, a clear update, a kept promise. And those moments, they're happening all day long, all around us. So today, be intentional, be consistent, and build trust in every interaction. Because when you do, speed goes up, stress goes down, and your business starts to move differently. Let's go build trust, and the speed of your business will pick up because of it. Thank you for joining, and I hope you have a remarkable day.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Karen.
you. That was great.
Thanks, everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you. Wonderful, Carrie. Bye, guys.